Hello, everybody. This is Mark Rhodes. You know what time it is? Three questions with. We interview folks on the New View team, prominent community members, anybody who's willing to talk to me, and just find out a little bit more about them and get to know other community members a little bit better because we just have such a great NAV and Business Central community. And I love talking to folks, especially folks like David Gersten, who I have known for several years now. Hi, David.
Hey, Mark. How are you today?
I'm doing swell. Thanks for joining us and being subjected to my questions. And if you don't know, David is with Dynamic Consulting. He also works with John Stipula and Sean Dorward. I believe David and Sean, you joined in the past year or two. A lot going on with Dynamic Consulting. Very, very dynamic place, to pun intended. And just enjoying spending a couple minutes, as always, with David. And David, you ready to jump into some questions?
I am. Thank you so much, Mark, for this opportunity. Real excited to be part of the community and provide some good feedback and share our stories.
Excellent. Thank you. And I gotta say that you got to move your head for a second so we can see the picture behind you. We're going to do another round of questions with David at some point. Just talk about that picture. But if you're a Rolling Stones fan, that's very, very cool. Okay, let's jump into the regular questions though. And for folks out there who don't know who Dynamic Consulting is, who is Dynamic Consulting?
Yeah, so Dynamic Consulting is a national Dynamics partner, obviously, and we consult with Dynamics, so we've got the name Dynamic Consulting. Right. We're based out of Chicago with consultants throughout the United States. Been around about 10 years, 12 years, and started as end users, and that's what's real exciting about us. So we're a Dynamics partner that does everything in actually the three clouds. So we do cross over to Azure and Modern Business, but focus strongly in Dynamics. Everything from SMB, GP, Business Central Nav, all the way up to AX and Finance and Operations, and across the entire customer engagement platform. July 1, we launched our Power Practice. Wow. Now we really focus on overlaying Power BI with ERP and CRM. Our focus is to, start with service and end with quality, and we love to live by the mission of being investor prepared and accountable. And that's what we do. We do it focused really on completing that complex business process.
You guys are very focused on those core values, those core principles, and I love that. I think that's so key, especially just this year, and that's a whole nother tangent we could get into if we had longer to talk, but this year it's especially important to be focused on those core values. So I really do like reading about those and hearing about how you live those out.
Yeah, I joke with people that I'll tattoo it at the end of the year if we hit all of our numbers. IPA right on my shoulder. So we joke that if you're a beer drinker, just remember IPA, or if you're not, then just remember investor prepared and accountable. And it goes across our partners like you, Mark, and our other partners in the community, our customers, our employees' families. We really focus around delivering that mission.
I don't know. That sounds like a promise, not a joke. So I can't wait to see that tattoo. Excellent. Hey, so you have an interesting background in that you're a sales guy, but you're also a technologist. And, so much has been made over the past, 4 or 5 years now, really about business transformation. I bet you have a great explanation of what that actually is and what that looks like for a business.
Yeah, thank you for noticing. I tend to not tell people that I'm a technologist because I get my, I cross that line. Sometimes I joke with the practice managers and other consultants, that I answer sometimes technologically, and then I go, well, was that right? But yeah, so right. Born and bred sales and marketing. I call myself a geek, not a nerd, and I think the geekness is what really wraps myself around business transformation. It's looking at tools. I've always been someone that's people, process, and technology to change a business. And ever since selling managed services for other organizations, really looking at how do you change your business environment. I was just talking to a customer this morning, and maybe the technology isn't going to be what's going to happen. Maybe it's the actual business process itself has to change. And technology just is that roadblock. But it can be both directions. For me, business transformation is a combination of people, process, and technology.
Right.
Obviously, we're in the technology world, so there's so much that we can do. And we also want to keep it simple, though. We tend to overcomplicate things sometimes by putting too much technology in there, and there's too many rooms for point of failure. But I really think it's about looking at the processes. What can we do? What systems? If you're, how many times are you pulling up an Excel spreadsheet to do something where you really could do it in the system you're working in? How many times are you using Post-it notes instead of something else? And the beauty of the Microsoft world is that it is all finally coming together. Remember years ago when Dynamics was just this isolated island. Microsoft, Office was this isolated island. I think Teams brings it all together really well. And I think we're really now looking at platforms rather than applications to a certain degree. And what can we do with those platforms? And how do they interoperate? And Dynamic Consulting staying very knowledgeable and in the forefront of knowing this information.
I knew that you knew a good answer for that question, and sure enough, you covered a lot of ground in a very short amount of time there. You hit on a number of great points there. The people, process, technology, that's still true, but even more than ever, right? The old saying about a hammer looking for a nail, right? It's technology is still an enabler. It's got to be part of an overall business direction, strategy, objectives, and you got to have an effective team to pull that off as well. I've been on a big tear recently about equipping your team to use the technology to drive your business forward, right? You can't forget that. So fantastic.
That ties directly back to IPA, investor prepared and accountable. Don't do the due diligence up front and invest that time understanding the business needs, the goals, then you're not really going to be able to be prepared to be accountable and deliver a solution and use the solution. Adopt, make sure.
Yet another thing we could go on for 20 minutes about spend all this time and money and then use 50% of the system. So, right, fantastic. We got a lot of similar experiences. It sounds like so.
Absolutely.
So, a completely different tactic to round out our three questions. You work with John Stipula. You guys are big supporters of DynamicsCon. John is kind of leading that community effort for this virtual event that's coming up on September 9th and 10th. First time for DynamicsCon. Fantastic community following and support, a lot of interest. And I'm just wondering if you can share a little bit about what that event is about. And then also the fun comic book theme. I don't know if that's just for fun, because it is fun, or if there's another story behind that. But can you explain?
Yeah, so I'm not very involved in it. Like you said, it is a separate arm from Dynamic Consulting. But excuse me, John's vision of bringing the community together has really been years in the making. With the Dynamics user group, Doug, that is kind of behind this organization. DynamicsCon is really just a free virtual event put on, very crowdsourcing, which is very unique, new things happening, crowdsourcing of the topics, opening up to speakers, paying the speakers, letting the viewers decide on what they want to see, giving a venue for people who don't speak all the time. A lot of the conferences out there have the same topic, same speakers. So this gave another way. I think they're saying for the community, by the community, for the community. Mm-hmm. And I think it's real important. I believe actually we've topped over 5,000.
That's what I've heard.
Attendees registered. The uniqueness about this is it's going to be pre-recorded with live sessions, with live Q&A during the sessions, and then available for free on YouTube afterwards.
Yeah,
so
amazing.
I think that was the thing, is really giving back to the community. This world of virtual it grew from that because there was a challenge of bringing the community together. but it's been a long time coming. It's great that that we're able to do it. The momentum's exciting. Regards to the comic book theme, it's kind of play with Comic-Con. So if you think about Comic-Con and the POW and the Punch and the wow, the good old days of Batman and Robin and the animation, that is kind of the spring child. That's kind of where it came from. Dynamics Con, Comic-Con, and then kind of really they've taken it to a whole nother level. Lots of smart people, much more smarter people than I am when it comes to marketing and messaging for this. It's been great. It's been well received. We really appreciate your promoting it, and just the community itself has really taken on, and it's
they have embraced it.
It's exciting from the outside just to look in and go, wow, people have really embraced it, and again, it's as an employee of Dynamics Consulting, I'm looking forward to attending, and I'm just excited, and to learn from the sponsors and learn from the amazing presenters that are lined up.
Right, got some great speakers lined up, and a lot of interest, as you mentioned. So I'm looking forward to it as well, and it's just fun. It's nice to have that fun approach. So appreciate all the contributions on that. And well, that wraps up our 3 questions with David. Thank you very much again for joining us.
No problem. Thanks, Mark. Pleasure. Do it anytime.
Excellent. We'll definitely take you up on that. Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy, again, kind of a different approach, getting to know the fellow users and partners, the community members that all of us love NAV and Business Central so much that we just enjoy being part of this. And we'll see you on another 3 questions with very soon. Bye for now.
Thank you.